then I guess you're in the right place, you know. I mean, it's becoming predominantly more and more brown every day, so if you're happy here, God bless you. I mean, my attitude is either this place has got to change or I guess I got to immigrate back to Europe. I mean, maybe it's time for white people just to flee back to Europe. Leave it to the blacks and the Jews and the Indians, and let's see if they can run this country. It's such a great place. I bet you this place would fall apart in 2 weeks without us here to help run it.
Well, Bozo, what you waiting for? How come you ain't on the boat going back to Europe already?
Well, because I keep hoping that maybe things will change.
No, things ain't never going to change. Things might get better, and things might get better for a lot of people, but things ain't never going to go your way.
I suppose that's probably true.
That's absolutely true. Now, I've been sitting in there listening to you jack around with Doyle because he's new on this radio for a while.
Yeah.
Now, try jacking with me, bud.
Well, I ain't scared of you. I mean, what you know.
I didn't say you were scared of me. Let's hear all your baloney now.
All right, I'll be happy to tell you. I think this world is based, or at least this country has pretty much been taken over by Jews. I think that this country is being fed a lot of politically correct garbage, and a lot of young white people are buying it, and it's being put out by the Jewish-controlled media.
Buying exactly what? Be specific. What are you talking about?
All right, you know how we all need to have this diversity, and we all need to come together, and we all need to listen to rap music, and we all need to have miscegenation. We all need to, you know, let our white women sleep with black men, and we all need to just go have this.
Nobody's making you do any of that.
They may not be making it, but they're certainly influencing the young people to do it. It's more and more happening out there.
Do you ever hear of freedom? Young people have minds. They can make choices. I bet you're one of these guys that think that the white race is being diluted, right?
Absolutely.
Well, why don't you go find a blue-eyed, blonde-haired girl and have a bunch of babies, and you wouldn't have a problem, would you?
Because they're all banging niggers, basically.
Oh, really?
Come on.
Really?
At least from what I can tell, a lot of them are.
Well, so what if they are?
Well, so
Is that any of your business? Who are you banging?
Why ain't I banging?
Who?
Well, I can tell you it ain't no black woman or no Indian.
I can tell you right now, you ain't banging nobody.
Well, no, right now I'm talking on the phone. And I'll tell you something
You're not
else,
talking on.
whether or not I am getting laid or not is irrelevant to the.
No, it's absolutely relevant. You're the one who brought it up. You made it an issue.
That this country is going down the tubes and in another.
No. Free people are making free choices and doing what they believe they should be doing, and they're not taking orders from you. That's what really makes you angry, doesn't it?
Well, one day they may be taking orders, not from me, though, but from a guy named Dr. Pierce.
No. You want to bet? How much you want to bet?
How much I want to bet on?
Yeah, how much you want to bet? How much money you got? I'll bet you everything you got in this whole world. Dr. Pierce? Dr. Pierce? Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody in this world going to take orders from Dr. Pierce. I bet you his wife don't even take orders from him if he's lucky enough to have one.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, the National Alliance is out there speaking for people's rights, you know.
The National Alliance is out there making fools out of themselves, just like you're doing on this broadcast.
You know, and if you're happy living in a world full of mongrels and blacks and Indians.
I'm happy living with anybody who's a decent, nice, polite, respectable human being who believes in freedom, not Nazi stormtroopers like you.
Well, I feel sad for you, man.
No, you don't have to feel sad for me. You ought to feel sad for yourself. There isn't 500 of you people in this whole country. If you all had guns and rose up tomorrow, you couldn't even storm an anthill and win the battle. And you damn well know it. So what is all this rhetoric about, I'm going to be taking orders from Dr. Pierce? Dr. Pierce is nobody. He's nothing. He has no army, and nobody takes orders from him. Unless maybe it's some fool like you.
Well, all I can say is I find it, kind of sad that, people like you who call themselves patriots and...
You find it sad that there's free people in this world who make free choices and want to live in peace with each other, and you can't put on your little Nazi uniform and march around with your goose step and round people up and kill them. It's not going to happen. Not ever. You're dreaming.
Oh, we did a pretty good job of it in the 40s over in Europe. It could happen.
No, you didn't. You got your butts kicked royal.
That's right.
Yeah, it took just about every country, including the U.S., to do it. I mean, we were kicking ass until the United States.
Didn't take every country, and you weren't kicking anything. You weren't there. And if you had have been there, you'd have dug a hole and hid in it.
Had to have the big old U.S. come in. Come on, boys, let's go over there. France was getting wasted. Europe, England was in a blitzkrieg. If the United States hadn't stepped in, you would right now be speaking German.
Oh, I would, really?
Yes, you would.
Oh, yeah, and just how exactly were you going to accomplish that when you couldn't even invade England? And it wasn't you anyway? What do you mean we? What's all this we stuff? You weren't there, little boy. You didn't have a uniform. There wasn't a swastika for your arm, and you didn't have a rifle. You didn't fight that war.
We as in the Aryan people.
You as in the fool, making a fool of yourself on the air to the whole world. You know how stupid and idiotic you sound?
No more stupid and idiotic than you do, thinking that you're going to have some sort of a country with...
I already have a country.
How long do you think you're going to keep it before it's like Kinshasa or like Haiti? How long do you think it's going to be before you walk out in the street and there's no electricity, there's old cars running around, there's, crap all over the streets, there's people walking around, with, voodoo drums beating them.
Voodoo drums?
Yeah, it'll be within 100 years. This place is going to look just like Haiti or Kinshasa or any
you're just about the stupidest idiot that I have ever heard in my entire life.
It will within 100 years. I'll bet you. If we could take
within 100 years, there's going to be a much better world than there is now, and people like you probably will still be here. You'll be on your little soapbox, but you won't have any power, and you won't be ordering anybody around, and you won't be in charge.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
Okay, you could be right. I mean, you very well could.
I know I'm right. You haven't got you have no power, no numbers, no nothing, and nobody wants to follow little Hitlers around.
But I can tell you, within 100 years, white people will probably almost not exist in this country. And
what do you care? You're not going to be here in 100 years, and if it makes all those people happy to be whatever they be and marry whoever they marry and have their children happily living in peace, what is it to you?
Well,
what's your problem?
Well, it just seems kind of sad that a race that invented so much is going to basically die off the face of the earth.
What do you care?
Well, I'm part of it, damn it. I don't want
Well, why don't you? I'm going to ask you again. I asked you before. You didn't answer me. Why don't all you guys that are so worried about your race go find little blonde-haired, blue-eyed Susies and just make babies till you can't walk anymore?
And again, I'll answer your question because they're all stupid niggers right now.
No, they're not. It's because you turned them off. They don't want to be with you. That's why. They want to be with nice, decent people, not raving maniacs. That's why.
Well, fine then. Like I said, you're happy in 300 or 400 years no longer having a people on this planet, then I guess, you're right. It really
I have people on this. I have lots of people on this planet. Lots of decent people. Lots of wonderful friends of all different races and all different religions. I'm married to a full-blood Chinese woman from Taiwan. My children have Native American English, Scotch, Irish, and Chinese blood in them. I'm part Native American. We're all decent people. My daughters are some of the most beautiful, most intelligent children you'll ever find. What's your problem, bozo?
I just told you, my problem is within 1,000 years that there's going to...
You're not going to be here in 1,000 years. That isn't your problem, because in 1,000 years, you don't give a damn what's going to be here because you're not going to be here.
We will be extinct.
Who's we? I won't be extinct. I have children that'll pass on my genetics to their children. You're going to be extinct because you can't find your little blue-eyed blonde girl to make babies with.
Your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchild is going to be with nappy hair and dark skin, and you just watch. And if you, like I said, if you think that's cool, then our race will...
You know something? You know something?
Then,
whatever my great-grandchildren turn out to be, they'll be decent, nice, wonderful people. They won't be raving maniacs like you. And it will make me very happy.
Hooray.
I don't care what they look like. All I care is that they're decent, nice human beings that can live in peace with their neighbors and care about freedom.
Well, hooray for America.
No, I didn't say anything about America. What's your problem?
I just told you, but apparently you don't find it a problem, so...
No, I don't find it a problem, and it's not a problem for you. You keep talking about 100 years from now and 1,000 years from now. That's not your problem. You're not going to be here.
Well, it seems a shame to me that when this...
Why is it a shame you're not going to be here? What do you care how people look and what race they are and how they're living 100 years or 1,000 years from now?
Because, like I said, it just seems a shame when we've done so much to bring civilization
Who's
to everything.
done so much?
Who's
done so much to bring civilization anyway?
By Europeans.
You know something? You've never read a history book in your life. When the Romans invaded Europe, you know what they found there? They didn't find any wonderful civilization. They found naked Teutons running around in the woods, living in stick huts. That's what they found. There wasn't any civilization in Germany. There wasn't any civilization in Europe when the Romans got there. There were tribes of people clad in raw animal skins living in huts.
Maybe my geography is a little off, but isn't Rome in Italy, and isn't Italy part of Europe? So obviously that part of Europe was civilized. The Roman Empire was civilized.
You know where the Romans got their civilization?
Nowhere.
From Egypt. You know where Egypt got it? From Mesopotamia. And the Assyrians.
Well,
none of that.
What an Assyrian is.
That's obvious.
I do know that Rome is part of Italy, and Italy is part of Europe. So that part, at least, of Europe must have been civilized back then. So there was civilization in Europe, and like I said, I mean, we have.
Wait! Whoa! Hold it there. You said that the Aryan Europeans were responsible for civilizing the world.
Well,
you weren't even listening to what I said.
I was thinking somewhat later. I heard what you said when they went to Europe.
Sorry, my friend, but you're not thinking much at all.
They found
I've heard this story before. That all civilization in this world comes from the Aryan Germanic tribes. I've heard it. I've heard it from Dr. Pierce. I've heard it from all of the rest of you raving maniacs.
I was thinking more into like the 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th century. I wasn't thinking way back then. I was thinking more of classical music, whether you want to talk about Shakespeare, literature. I'll tell you, I can't think of any other people that have been able to create literature like Europeans have.
How do you know?
Well, because for one thing, I've read some of it. I mean, basically, I have this book called Black Stories of Africa or something, and it's stories about animals. One day lion got up and said, "I am hungry." I mean, it's the dumbest stuff. I mean, they're talking about animals, and Shakespeare's doing stories.
Can you read ancient Egyptian?
No, I can't read ancient.
Can you read Greek?
Speak?
Can you read Greek?
No.
Gee.
Well, I have, though I do have a lot of Greek mythology. I have.
Can you read Greek?
No, I can't.
Can you read the Indian language from the nation of India?
No, I cannot.
Well then, how can you tell that there is no great literature anywhere else? Have you ever read the Vedas?
It's been translated into English.
Have you read it?
Not those particular things, no.
So, what have you read?
Just different legends, like legends of the Navajos, and because I'm into mythology. I'm really into different mythology. Greek and Roman mythology is like very, very cool, and then when you get into other mythologies, it's like it just goes down into just stupidity. So the Greeks and Romans, they were like light years ahead, even back then. I don't know. I can't convince you, man. If you think that this is a great place the way it is, then
The reason you can't convince me is you have no argument. Your argument is based upon the fact that you just absolutely cannot stand other people. Anybody who doesn't look and smell and taste and feel and dress like you and live like you, to you, doesn't belong on this earth. Isn't that correct?
Well, at least not in this country. They can find their own damn country, can't they?
What do you mean find their own? This is their country. Anyone born in this country is a citizen of this country. Anyone born in any state of the 50 states is a citizen of that state. It's their country.
Well, I wish I had the money to leave.
Well, why don't you? Why don't all you guys get together, pool your money, buy some island somewhere, get you a rowboat, row out to your island, make your Fourth Reich, and you'll all be happy.
If there was a place to go, believe me, I'd make the effort to go there.
There are places to go. Why don't you look around? Why don't you get together with all your buddies, throw all your money into the pot, buy you an island somewhere, and, get you a boat and get yourselves out there. Make your own country. Make your Fourth Reich. You can run around killing each other. I guarantee you after a while, you're not going to like each other either. Because you have a problem that has nothing to do with what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what that problem would be other than...
I know you don't.
I
know you don't. That's why you put it off on other people. But the problem's in you. It's not in those other people. There's nobody running around making you go to bed with anybody. You can go to bed with whoever you want. So if your race is being diluted, you're the one diluting it. And if you can't find a woman of the same race as you, if that's the kind of woman that you want, then you better sit down and ask yourself, what's wrong with you?
I never said that they were forcing me, but, you turn on MTV any day and you hear this rap music playing, and what they are doing is they basically are getting the young children that are between, say, 10 and 14 and 15, and they're filling their heads with this garbage. I mean, a lot of people...
No, they're not. Nobody is going up to anybody and knocking on their head and opening up their skull and shoving music down their brain. These people are going and buying the music that they want to hear. Nobody's forcing them to buy it. Nobody's forcing them to listen to it. The black rappers are not making music for little white children to screw with their brains. Their music is for blacks. If you listen to it, it's black music for blacks. If white children like it, there's nothing that you're going to do about that. People are going to gravitate to what they like, whether you like it or not.
Well, I think that's an awfully sad, I guess...
You think freedom is sad?
I guess, well, I guess when you're free to just completely ruin what was a good idea, and America was a good idea 200 years ago, but I guess if that's what freedom's all about, then okay.
Well, if you're talking about... Hold on just a second. If you're talking about the fact that we are all all of us, of all races and all religions who are Americans, are losing our freedoms, and we need to get our freedoms back, then I'm with you. If you're talking about just you need America the way it was 200 years ago, and everybody who doesn't look like you and dress like you and live in the same house as you can't have that, then you're wrong, and it's not going to be that way.
Well, I can even remember in my life when it wasn't like this. I mean, I'm only 35 years old, and even in the 70s, things made some sense to me. Even in the 70s, at least things made some sense to me.
You sound like you're lost. Things make sense to me everywhere except for the fact that we're losing our freedoms. See, I think people should be free to say and do and live and marry and have the hobby and travel and all of the things that they want to do, as long as they never injure the person or property of any other human being, and I don't care what race or religion they are.
Well,
times are going to change. The world is always in a state of change. You're never going to find a place, a neighborhood, a block, a city, a state, or a country that's not going to change. That's the way of the world. The world does not stand still.
Well, I can only imagine what it's going to be 20 years from now. It's probably we'll probably all be living in 5 foot of garbage.
Don't let your imagination run away with you. The human race is pretty good overall, and people might let problems get away with them here and there, but eventually they get around to solving those problems and taking care of them. Most people are not going to stand for living in 5 feet of garbage or even 1 inch of garbage. They'll take care of it. Trust me.
Well, I just know that I hate the world that I'm in 1998. I'm afraid of it, and all I know what to do is, when I'm full of hate and fear, is to get my gun and go out there and fight whatever it is that causes me hate and fear.
Well, I hope you don't do that. You know, if we all get together and you want to participate in a great restoration of constitutional Republican government so that we can all live free together in peace, I'll help you do that. But if you want to pick up a gun and go out and shoot somebody you never saw before in your life because you don't like the color of their skin, I'll shoot you if I see you trying it. You'll be the one I shoot. You understand that?
All right, that's fair. That's fine.
And just remember that I'm not the only one.
Okay, fine. Hell, it'll be a 3-way fight. It'll be...
No, it'll be about everybody that you can see shooting at you. That's what it'll be.
Well, that may be the case, and maybe I'd be better off dead.
Well, I wish you wouldn't feel that way. I don't understand why you feel like the world is so bad. The world is a wonderful place. There are wonderful people out there. There are great people out there. There's great things to do. Instead of balling yourself up in all this hatred and fear, why don't you find something good that you can do and some good people that you can do it with and make your mark on history and be remembered as a good man who did some good for somebody? Because you know what I hear from you?
What?
I hear you're going to be on death row probably in another couple of months. If you keep thinking the way you're thinking, you're going to go out and kill somebody, and you're going to be on death row somewhere.
Well, I've been a skinhead since 1980.
That's not something to be proud of. You keep telling me that America was so great 200 years ago or 100 years ago. You don't even understand America if you're a skinhead and you're proud of that. A skinhead is a socialist. Nazis are socialists. Hitler was a socialist. Nazi means National Socialist German Workers' Party. The ultimate goal of socialism is communism. Did you ever read Karl Marx? Do you even have any idea of what you're a part of? If you want to be American, you can't be a part of that. America is for freedom.
Well, then why did Hitler fight the communists if communism is socialism's ultimate goal?
Because all of these people are like everybody else. They don't understand that. They didn't read Karl Marx either. The average person that falls in line behind some silly leader doesn't have the slightest clue what's going on. He just hears what sounds good to him. It was a war between the socialists and the communists, and the socialists won, and Hitler socialized Germany.
I never heard that before.
That's because you're listening to people who manipulate you like Dr. Pierce. To serve his own agenda as his own private little stormtrooper. Why don't you try being a leader sometime instead of a blind, stupid follower?
God, I hate to say this, but you kind of stopped me. It's true, I never thought of it, but Nazi does stand for National Socialist Party, and then that doesn't make any sense. What have they been telling me for the last 20 years?
You see, that's the whole purpose of this broadcast. You know, my heart goes out to you because I know that you've been lied to and misled, and you're being manipulated and used by people who have an agenda to divide and conquer the world and bring the whole world under socialism. That's what the New World Order is all about. That's what I spend my time on this microphone trying to do, is wake people up to this and get them to stop listening to everybody else. That's why I tell people, listen to everybody. Read everything. Believe absolutely nothing unless you can prove it. You do your research and understand what it is that's going on. And that includes me. It includes Dr. Pierce. It includes William Jefferson Clinton. It includes your preacher in your church. This is the age of deception, and if you're not careful, you will be used as some worm on somebody's hook to catch a big fish.